everyone. The Bad Habits here, aka TBH. Welcome to the shit show. I mean, Legion. Before we go any further, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Help me decide a future episode of the shit show. We'll get into that later. As usual, we gotta read the synopsis via Wikipedia. Legion 2010 film. A story of the second coming, Legion follows a group of people as they attempt to protect an infant savior from angels and the possessed in an apocalypse. Yes, people, you heard me. In this film, angels are mostly the bad guys. Mic drop. Now, if you've seen, for example, Supernatural, maybe the idea of bad guys being angels, maybe that's not foreign to you, but at the time for me, this was just like, oh man, I had to see this shit. I think I was 15 and a half or so I was probably a sophomore. Oh yeah, that guy, he was definitely into this shit. I guess the first thing we're really going to talk about with this film is the cast, okay? So the star of this film is the character named Charlie. She gives us the opening intro dialogue. It's, of course, 2010 as fuck once again. Yeah, she's rambling about something her mom used to say as she tucked her into bed. You could tell someone was lighting a cigar as they were writing this dialogue. Charlie is a waitress at a nowhere dead-end truck stop diner. She is 8 months pregnant, just nearly at the finish line of her pregnancy, and then this shit happens. Next up, we have Tokyo Drift. His name is Jeep in the film, but I'm calling him Tokyo Drift. Deal with it. He probably has the most heart of all the characters. Yeah, I know it sounds a little corny to say. Whatever. And since he's part of the Fast and Furious family, let me move on to my next character, Tyrese, aka Roman Pierce from Fast and Furious. Yes, my favorite character from those movies. Deal with it. He's a character in this film. He's pretty much Tyrese, and just always Tyrese for the most part. Maybe in Baby Boy he actually did some acting. Oh, and who can forget his Django Unchained audition tape? Ah! No! That's him looking at the script. Next up, we have Dennis Quaid, who's the owner of the diner. He's Tokyo Drift's dad. He's just a gruntled hard ass who's grumpy. He stopped smoking and he likes to drink. Who's next? Charles Dutton as Percy. He is the cook at the diner. He's the residential black guy before Tyrese comes into the plot. And he's religious, of course. He's black, so he has to be a Christian, I'm sure. Sorry, people. My bad. Also, he has a hook for a hand. Maybe it's this one. I don't remember. That's about it.
Now, when this starts, you hold on tight. Otherwise, you're going to blow your hand off.
What the fuck y'all looking at me for?
We also have this family of Howard, Sandra, and Audrey. How would I describe Howard? He's a jokester. He's a typical dad. Mom, aka Sandra, she's a little snooty, stuck up, and then Audrey's the edgelord of the family, who's just rebellious as all hell. I mean, come on, her fucking intro speaks for itself. Next up, we have Gabriel, the Archangel. Now, he is played by whoever plays Proximus Caesar and the Blob from X-Men Origins. Yeah, that guy. His whole thing is he's very subordinate. He's very by the book, essentially. He is the closest thing we have to an antagonist. I mean, it's a very broad movie, so... Whew. And last but not least, the star of this film, Vision, aka Michael, the Archangel. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say, he's the star for a reason. He's definitely putting his all into this one. I mean, he's fucking carrying this film. I mean, outside of Tyrese, but that's a personal thing. That might not work for you, but Michael goes AWOL. Why is he doing that? Because he's rebelling. He goes to Earth, decides he wants to save Charlie and the baby. We must protect the baby. Hold on, this is starting to sound like Terminator. They kind of just drop you into the film. Okay, yep. Someone saw Terminator. We just fucking drop Vision in onto Earth. We see that he has angel wings via silhouette, of course. Someone probably had it, written down in the script. We get a nice wide shot of Vision and his angel wings, and they're quickly like, bullshit. We can't afford that. Put that damn silhouette up there. So now Michael drops in. He's immediately stocking up with guns, ammo. The world's going to shit as we speak. We cut to a few cops who are just, on the job on a regular day, like nothing's happening. One of those cops, some of his dialogue. Ugh. Let's just say he's not painted in the best of lights. He's shitty. So since he's shitty, he's weak-willed. He's easily possessed, and if I'm not mistaken, it's by Gabriel of all people. This is our first taste of Gabriel before we find out what Gabriel looks like, before we even have a name to the character. He's simply there just to warn Michael. He's like, bro, you better get your ass back up here, and glue your little fake ass CGI wings on, and let's get back to this work. But instead, we gotta have a movie. So they get into a gunfight. It's quickly over. We just established that we have a legit threat in this film already, because we don't know yet that these people are being possessed by angels, at least not yet. Whenever you get possessed, you shake your head fiercely like you're in some like Looney Tunes cartoon. You get baby shark teeth. Saying this out loud is fucking with me. Pause. I'm trying not to laugh every fucking time, because we're just getting started with this shit, and this happens a lot. Now, you could say possess, according to the film. I get it. But also, you could say this is the moment when their shit kicks in. Look at those pupils, yo. Come on. I'm sure a lot of this is influenced by the fact that it's way past 5 a.m. in the morning. But I digress. Let's get into a con, if you will. Everyone is cliche for the most part. I mean, the dialogue especially. There's no subtleties in this dialogue. I mean, actually in this film especially. I mean, what am I talking about? The restaurant's called Paradise Falls, and it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. I mean, it's right here. I think I'm losing it, folks, because, I've been giving these characters a lot of shit, which they deserve. But Tokyo Drift and Dennis Quaid, they are father and son, of course. They have this bonding moment where, Dennis Quaid is trying to get Tokyo Drift to move on from Charlie and, basically live his own life, get the fuck out of there, do everything he didn't get to do. Which I get, that's what you want for your kid. But this dude is clearly madly in love with Charlie. There's really nothing you could do. Where was I? Oh, yeah, the bonding moment between the father and son. Yeah, right when this happens, shit literally hits the fan. A literal storm. Okay, that's not just yet. That's coming right up, though. Instead, we get the introduction of Gladys. Now, she was all over the advertisement for this film. Of course, why not? You got a cute grandma who is possessed by a goddamn angel who takes a chunk out of a man. I mean, yeah, I get it. It just writes itself. I feel like if you know anything about this film, you probably know about this scene right here. I mean, she's adorable. You know, she walks in with her little walker with the tennis balls on it, says hello, orders a goddamn rare steak, and then just starts bad mouthing a waitress. All those babies are gonna burn. And then homie with the hook hand just throws a goddamn frying pan at her. Oh man, this is hot garbage. This is so goddamn fun. And then you have fucking Tyrese in the background. Who the fuck is this old lady? Here's where the storm that I mentioned just a few moments ago, here's where that shit kicks in. Gladys took a chunk out of Howard's neck, so now we're all in a panic. We're trying to rush out. Tyrese ends up as the chaperone for this trip, and they are literally heading into this biblical storm. I mean, how can you miss this from any direction at this point? But they're literally heading just straight on into it. And then within the dialogue of the film, they're questioning it. And Tyrese, come on, man. Come on, brother. Those are clouds? What? Goddamn CGI fart cloud. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. So Tyrese is still driving into the storm. It turns out, not clouds, it's flies.
They're clouds! What do you think they are?
Clouds! Oh, the bus!
If you pay attention, of course, Tyrese does not give a fuck. He has no direction in this scene. I don't know what the fuck's happening, because he just, he was acting like it was an episode of Star Trek. And I don't say that lightly, people. If you know me, you know I love Tyrese, Roman Pierce. I'm with him anytime someone asks him a goddamn question. He's constantly in a state of, I don't know what the fuck's going on, okay? I'm just here. And that's me right there.
Keep pressure right there. Calm down. Keep pressure on his neck. Who the fuck is this old lady?
Now we can't drive anywhere. We go back to the diner. We're trapped. Insert Michael, who arrives in a police car. Everyone thinks that their bad luck just ran out and we're gonna be okay. Nope. This actually leads directly into a con I want to get into, though, because now that they know at least the signs of the possessed, of course they don't know what's going on. Clearly Gladys was there to send a message. Message received, by the way. But now they realize some of the signs of being possessed, which technically at this time in the story, they don't know what's happening to these people. They just know that something's off. They decide to use the baby teeth as an indicator. Now, stay with me, people, because when Gladys is introduced, she has her nice, brand new dentures in. I'm assuming dentures, sorry. But, I mean, come on now. They literally just forget that and decide to use that as a telltale sign. Really? She didn't have shark teeth initially, people. You would have noticed that at some point when she was talking to Sandra, Howard, ordering her meal. That would have been the first thing Charlie would have told the kitchen when she walked back. I work in a goddamn restaurant, currently speaking, as a prep cook. Whenever some weird shit happens, especially we all know what's happening up front. Remember that, people, when you're at a restaurant. So they're using that logic against Michael. And it's like, okay, well, you don't have baby teeth, so come on in. I can't believe I made it through all that without laughing. Goddamn baby teeth, man. Now that Michael, joins the squad, so to speak, they're all holed up in the diner. They fortify it. Michael, of course, has his arsenal that he brought with him. Insert Doug Jones, the goddamn ice cream man.
Audrey, honey, listen. It's the ice cream man.
Who quickly gets wiped out before he can do much. But you know, his transformation is goddamn creepy. Even when I just rewatched it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that running. Oh, yeah, no, I just got fucking goosebumps thinking about it. I'm glad they quickly dispatch him because, I mean, what would have happened if he got a hold of someone? Oh. Unfortunately, immediately after he's taken care of, a bunch of other just random possessed people walk in. It's not much. And when I say walk in, I mean, yeah, they get out their cars and just walk to the diner. It's not really much going on. That is when Michael takes everyone in the back room and decides to explain the sitch a little bit, you know? I really wish I could just sit in during like the pitch meeting for this film, Legion. They tried to be edgelord as fuck. Get this, we took an old lady, a young kid with a dumb Justin Bieber haircut, and the legendary Doug Jones as a Mr. Fantastic ice cream man, and then we corrupted them with the holy power of an angel. That's what we did. Come on. Legion was voted by a few of you in the comments. Thank you, by the way. And once this releases, I'm going to need something to take its spot. So just like normal, I'm going to have you guys vote in the comments. Please, once again. I've removed signs, okay? Full disclosure, that episode is coming soon. It's already shot, so I've taken that one out of contention. We still have Soul Plane as the holdover. Next up, we have Blade Trinity, which, you know, the Blade movies might have been rejuvenated recently. No spoilers attached to that. And last up, we have Street Fighter, the 1994 version with Jean-Claude Van Damme. This was Raul Julia's last film before he passed away. So I've actually never seen this in my life. I've seen bits and pieces on the internet, of course, but that one's going to be interesting. Once again, just leave it in the comments and I'll know what to do next. Of course, people have their doubt. I mean, I don't fucking blame them. I couldn't explain what's happening, but the biblical apocalypse? Not how I pictured it either. And of course, this is a horror film, so, you know, we gotta have a threat from within the group. You know, there's gotta be a wink link somewhere. And people, it's Sandra. This is where the cracks start to show. She enters this state where she's sometimes loopy, and then sometimes she's just super antagonistic. The shit she says to Audrey, I mean, it's almost irredeemable. I say almost because I've said horrible shit like this before as well. I'm not perfect, but she takes it way too damn far. And it's like, don't put all this on your kid. It gets chalked up to whatever. She's having a mental breakdown. Unfortunately for Percy, who's been set up as the religious one of the group, he suddenly catches a case of that was supposed to be a fake cough and that turned into a real one. He suddenly catches a case of SNS. Since it's established that Sandra is the weak point in the group, they use her love for Howard as a weakness, of course. They exploit the fuck out of that. And they literally have her just lured out into the back thinking he's alive. Percy decides it's his time to shine, so he saves Sandra from Howard, who turns out to be some bio bomb of sorts. I don't know, he leaks xenomorph blood. It's fucking brutal, if I'm being honest with you. I don't want to shy away from that. It's actually a really cool death scene. It's not well done, but the effect on it is cool. Let me say that. He already had a hook hand, people. I mean, wasn't that enough? Let me do a pro really quick, though. You know, right after that, we get a nice little moment between Charlie and Tokyo Drift. And she has this really, like, great, empowering character moment. She lets Tokyo Drift know that, I mean, she almost didn't go through with this pregnancy. You know, she almost had an abortion at one point. The camera work is nice. You know, there's no jump cuts in there. We just slowly pan in a one shot. I appreciate small touches like that. It was a really personal moment, and they didn't shy away from it. It's time for someone else to die. So, Tyrese has been established throughout the film as a father. The possessed used that against him. I want my baby. I'm fine with him dying in this film. Of course, you know, we gotta have a body count. I found it interesting that he dies almost immediately after the last black dude. Like, quickly, let's get rid of this minority character. Let's get him the fuck out of there. He really does go out swinging, though. I mean, he has one of the more extended fight scenes in the film. It's all a trap, of course. And then we have just this one little kid. That's the one with the Justin Bieber haircut. It turns out this kid is a goddamn Trojan horse. It was smart because it worked so easily. And this kid isn't a one-trick pony as well. He's not just there for that. He actually almost kills Charlie and the baby. And we finally get to see what Michael can do also. You know, I want to mention that because he's sort of just been the exposition dump of the film. And now he gets his, you know, his cool action scene where, you know, he's going full John Woo, Quentin Tarantino. However, this shit is cool, but he's just dropping guns like it's not the goddamn apocalypse. Like, what are you doing? Pick that up, bitch. You can reuse that. That aside, back to the kid with the Justin Bieber haircut. Yeah, this one almost takes out Charlie and the baby. Just as they take care of him, the baby comes. Poor fucking Audrey, who just... she gets elected to be the goddamn doctor. Luckily for Charlie, this is one of the easiest and fastest labors I've ever seen in my life. She does this without drugs as well, and did someone have to stitch her up? We just go right past that. She's fine in the next scene. Okay, that's not true. She's not fine because she actually gets this real just sad moment where she decides she doesn't want to keep the baby, and she tells Michael that she wants him to take the baby, to which Michael replies, it's not his journey, that's hers. He has his own job. He's basically been Kyle Reese from Terminator, of course. I already mentioned that earlier. He's telling Charlie that he needs her to be Sarah Connor and raise John. That's essentially what we're doing right here. That's it. Yeah, I talked a lot of shit about this movie, but you know, this is a real scene in the film. And this is also leading to a big twist. It turns out this baby, little John, as I'm calling him, he wasn't supposed to be born. What? Who cares, bitch? Gabriel's here now. Shit's real. Although this isn't technically his introduction to the film, because we've seen him possess a cop early on, and we got to see him speak to Michael in a flashback. However, he really makes his entry point into this third act. He makes that goddamn memorable. First thing he does when he touches grass down on Earth is try to kill a fake ass baby. Now, I say fake ass baby because, now, I don't want to be morbid on this one, but this is gonna just, yeah. Bear with me here. 5 minutes after squishing out of its mom, it almost falls to the ground, which, if you know anything about babies, they're not known for neck support out the gate. That's something they have to work on, their muscles. That is something that you have to help them with. You know, they're not strong enough just yet. You know what happens if you don't support them. So, yeah, this baby can survive almost falling to the ground. And get this, later on, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but later on, this baby survives a car crash. Not just a simple fender bender. No, a cinematic car crash. Let me get back to Gabriel, though. Gabriel confronts Michael, who elects to stay back and hold off Gabriel while, you know, our surviving 4 members. Yeah, at this point, everyone else has been dwindled off, including Dennis Quaid, who I forgot to mention. Gabriel fucks him up. He doesn't kill him though, unfortunately. He lives long enough to sacrifice himself, buy the people some time. But I really want to talk about Michael and Gabriel. Finally, we get Angel v. Angel. And how's the fight? It's okay. I don't want to say like it's horrible, but it's kind of cut to shit and it's really like floaty with weird CGI or wire work. But it's fun. And you could tell that these two, they love each other and they don't want to be here doing this. And that is felt throughout. Gabriel ends up winning the fight overall. Gabriel's kind of fucking brutal. He has a cool ass fucking line. I wish we had more moments with him, just properly set him up as our main antagonist, because it's kind of lackluster there. But, he's a force nonetheless with a few moments of screen time. We cut to Michael, who's bleeding out, living out what seems to be his final moments. He fades away, turns into a bunch of beautiful, gleaming lights, and then disappears. We don't have time to wait. So finally, we get to leave the diner for like one of the first points in this film. I mentioned earlier how they couldn't afford to show Michael's wings at the very beginning. They definitely show you angel wings in the flashback, which I really just skipped over. But mainly they try to save it for the finale here, because he's going full vulture mode at this point. I mean, it's fucking terrifying. It's not as scary as like biblically accurate angels. Those scare the fuck out of me. I mean, these humanoid ones with wings, I'm okay with that. It's scary, but I think I can handle that. The other ones, no. I want to con this car chase though, because it felt like someone saw Jeepers Creepers 2 and just shot by shot recreated that. I don't know why. I mean, I need to rewatch Jeepers Creepers 2 before making that claim. It's immediately what I thought of when that crash happened. And this is the one I mentioned earlier that the baby also survives. Unfortunately, Audrey doesn't make it out of this one, but the baby does? Okay. So now they're footing it, and I don't know where the fuck we are. We're in some canyon somewhere, some rocky ledge. I don't know. Tokyo Drift tries to take on Gabriel while Charlie protects the baby. Luckily for Tokyo Drift, because he doesn't stand a goddamn chance at all. Luckily for him, a newly revived Michael arrives with his beautiful angel wings. He sets the record straight, or at least Gabriel. He definitely puts him in his place. He doesn't kill him though. He decides to spare Gabriel and show mercy, which is the one thing Gabriel didn't do for Michael. Michael's whole thing is compassion and giving chances. Gabriel, he don't give a fuck about none of that. He's about that life. So I guess our final three heroes, Lil Baby John, Tokyo Drift, and Charlie, those three head off to who the fuck knows. Tokyo Drift inherits Michael's tattoos, some type of scriptures. I don't know. All I can really say is he looks like a SoundCloud rapper now. I guess they get to live happily ever after. I don't know. We never got a sequel or anything. We get that opening dialogue that Charlie started with. It's got a lot more context behind it now, I will say. One thing about me, people, I'm not religious, but the Bible and whatnot, end times in general, very scary stuff to me, okay? And I don't take that lightly, but for some reason, I enjoy these, apocalyptic films. For example, End of Days here. I've only had this film for, a couple months now, and it is one of my favorite bad movies. This is also a biblical end times type of film, and I think it's great. Just to give you a little heads up, this year, this movie turns 25, so this will be the last episode of the shit show for 2024. That's how we're going to close out this year. So with that being said, let's get into the ratings here. On the regular rating scale, I'm going to give this a rating of add it to the collection. I think it's really fun, it's stupid, and it's bloated. And I don't know what came over me, but I had a fucking ball watching this film. On the fuckery scale, which is exclusive to this series, TheShow, high class fuckery. You probably didn't need me to tell you that. This is good stuff. This is bad. It's so bad, but it's good bad. So I'm gonna recommend it. If you go in with that mindset, don't expect goddamn Citizen Kane here. If you go in with tempered expectations, I think you can have some fun with this one. It's far from perfect, and honestly, I could have gave it a rating of stream it, and I would have been okay with that as well. So this could never be like a New Religion type of film, which is the highest rating we can give on the show. Yeah, far from that. But I think it's enjoyable. Anyway, it's gotta be almost 6 a.m. at this point, folks. I've been TBH, and I'm fucking tired. Thank you so much for supporting me in this just wacky adventure. I really appreciate all of you. Very soon, I'm getting ready to move, so things are gonna look a little different. It's still gonna be the same old TBH. Nothing's changing there. I've been the Bad Habits, aka TBH, y'all, and I'm signing out. Deuces.